my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and I'm joined with Mark Oldroyd from Suddenly Comics. And yeah, this is the Price Variance Show, and we're going to look at the hottest Silver Age books for the week. So, what's the very first book that we have to look
The
at?
first book, Alan, is, I think you might recognize it. I've seen it before somewhere.
Somewhere. Oh, this one actually is a really funny one, too. I'm not sure if you can tell the handiwork that was involved with this book. I put this one as my
What the
steal
heck's
of the
going
week.
on here? It looks like the top half of the cover is being pencil, is being at some creation.
Somebody drew that. So I consider this a steal of the week because you're getting original artwork plus a comic book.
Oh my goodness! So it was a torn page, and somebody has replaced
Well, it
it.
was a remainder copy.
Ugh.
So this was a remainder
Ah,
version.
right, yes, because they used to rip the cover, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually quite a solid remainder copy, like except for the, well, somebody created the top half of it. But if you look at it, it's, normally with AF-15s, there's chipping, like a lot of chipping. This one has almost no chipping. It's actually a very, very
I know,
solid
but
copy.
$9,000. I mean, that's crazy. Mind you,
Well,
let's look at Go Collect.
look at Go Collect. You'll be surprised how much a .5 goes for.
Goes for 12,000. Yeah. So, but
So
this isn't graded, but it's not going to be less than a
it's
point.
not great. Well, so it's actually they graded it as a 1 restored.
Yeah.
So here's the cool thing about it. So let's say you don't like that original artwork that it comes with, okay?
Yeah.
And you decide to remove that original artwork. Well, that's the only restoration that's been really done to this book. So you would have a .5 book. So now it's worth $12,000 instead of a restored book. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At a 1.0. So it's one where, and sometimes even as a remainder copy, I've seen them graded up to as high as 1.5. Because if it's a really solid book like this one is, it's like if you look at it, it's very, very solid in terms of everything else except for that top being missing. Well, they can grade it as high as a 1.5, which is, I think, a little bit shady, but that's what I've seen. So my point is, worst case scenario, they graded it at a 0.5. Best case scenario, they graded it at a 1.5. So this is a steal of the week because worst case scenario, you're still above the fair market value. You're below the fair market value by 3,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you like the original artwork, it's even more valuable.
I don't like it. I'd rather have it without that.
Well, yeah. So my point is, it's easily removed.
Yeah.
So it's just taped on. I don't know why they did it that way, but
It's not even taped on correctly. It's
I know they did a kind of weird job of it. I would have cropped it a bit better, but oh well.
Very odd. Mind you, somebody's bought it for $9,000. Good luck to them.
They probably saw the potential, is my point.
Yeah, probably. How to make a quick $3,000.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was an interesting one for the
No,
steal.
very interesting. I've not seen one like that before. Right.
So you're not picking this one up?
No, no, I'm not. I'm not a Spidey collector. So I'd rather be buying a Fantastic Four.
I always found that this one is such an iconic cover, though. I always loved the AF-15 cover.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me. It's not on my list. And I certainly wouldn't buy one with half a cover.
All right. So that's number 1 on the list. Number 10 on the list. What's number 9?
Number 9,
another big book.
You're picking all the big ones this week, Alan.
Yes, yes. There's a bit of a theme going on here.
Okay, so we got the Avengers #1 in a 5.5. Pretty nice grade. Pretty nice.
Very nice grade. Yeah, it's a solid book.
280. Now, is that good or bad, Alan?
Well, we'll see. That's the curiosity here. So go to a 5.5. Let's see what the trend line is for it.
What do I think? I think that sounds like a reasonable price.
I think it's a reasonable price. It's a little lower than the highs that this book has gotten. So
5.5. Yeah, yeah, that's about right.
yeah, so you'll notice
What the fair market value is.
like we'll call it the COVID bump.
Yeah.
You'll notice that at one point it was like 7,000.
9. It hit 9.
9, 8, 9. Yeah. So it's gone down considerably from that bump.
But it's probably on
But
the right. It's probably about right now.
it's right on that trend line. So what I kind of want collectors to realize is things might seem bad, but it's all about perspective. Okay. Um, if you ignore, like, just delete 2 years, like where there's a little bit of that craziness going on, and you just think about where things were before that. Well, this shows that the market is kind of going back to where it should be.
I would say this is probably still a little bit high. The
Yeah,
last, the,
but
the
I always
last,
like try to do that little angle thing, right?
yeah, this last one here is sold at 5,280, which seems about more reasonable to me. 5.7 seems a bit still high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, but about right. It's not far off.
But even if it's a bit high, that's a good sign because
Yeah, the COVID snap. So if we snap our fingers, we go back to pre-COVID.
yeah, yeah. But it's higher than that, so it shows that the market is actually still fairly strong. A lot of people are thinking the sky is falling, but I don't think so.
No,
Um,
it's just market correction.
it's just market correction. And if you look at, like, the way I always think about it is the stock market. Like if you look at the stock market, you get all these like kind of ups and downs,
Yeah,
but the overall trend is up. So
yeah,
these blips, even the fact that it was a big bump, the COVID bump, um, over time, in like 20 years time, it'll look like a blip. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Such a nice book, though.
It is nice, but I like this one.
Yeah, this is a pretty book.
Yeah, it looks like a 5.5.
It is it's all a 5.5. The big thing is that one left hand edge
Yeah,
has like that,
down here we've got, yeah, down here.
and there's another one there. So every much a 5.5.
Yeah,
And there's like major color breaking line that
yeah,
goes along Loki's head.
yeah. The top of it's quite nice. The top,
Yeah, and the
great.
colors are great. It's a very nice. It
Yeah,
represents it represents its grade
yeah.
quite
I
well.
would say that's a pretty mid-grade 5.5. That's a yeah.
Mhm.
What's that? A fine minus. Yeah.
Yeah. So does this book do a bit more for you than
Yeah, I
AF-15?
prefer this one to AF-15, but again, I'm not
Mhm.
an Avengers collector, so I'm never gonna. I've got the L. Miller and Son one of this, so
Oh, nice.
I do have my Avengers #1, but it's the British reprint.
Yeah. Well, both are
It's
both are
graded.
cool.
I think I've got this graded as a 5, something like that. Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
I don't think it's worth 5,000 though. Sorry,
It's not worth 5,000.
but actually, the L. Miller and Sons one is pretty rare.
Yeah,
It's
no,
probably like it's
yeah.
probably like maybe 20 on the census or something.
It's rarer than this.
Yeah, way rarer than this.
Yeah. But yes, unfortunately worth not a lot less.
A lot less. Yeah.
Probably worth the
I,
10. It's probably worth 500.
yeah. Yeah. I've actually been seeing those L. Millers and Alan Class ones go for a bit more nowadays.
Yeah,
Like they seem to be getting a bit of a market for them.
yeah, they are. It's getting annoying because I can't get them as cheap as I used to get them.
Yeah.
But I might.
You've been promoting it too much.
There was a large bee attacking me. Right.
Okay. So hopefully we
Right, on
survive
to the next
the
one.
bee attack. Let's go to the next
Oh,
one.
I like this one. Now you see, there we go. That's my type of thing.
Yeah, there's a bit of a alternative motive to this
I
one
know
because
you're on your.
I actually have a restored copy of this as well. So
There you go. I
um,
mean, it's not the greatest looking cover. Sorry, I mean it's a 2.5 and it's restored and it still looks a bit ropey.
yeah, well, it's along the like spine that it's kind of messy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look, it's got bits falling.
Yeah, yeah, it's a bit rough. That I mean, that's why it's a 2.5. But if you look at the main cover image, it's quite solid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a 2.5. Don't expect greatness here.
No, I'm afraid I prefer my Alan Class one.
You
Looks,
really like your Allen class.
wow,
Okay,
it looks a lot better than that. Uh,
yeah.
how much did this cost? Bloody hell, 4,320. There you go.
So this book was on a huge tear. This one was one of the ones that got um, most heated up during COVID. So to see it sell in a restored copy for this is a really good sign. Okay. So if you take a look again on this one, so oh yeah, let's pull it up. Load time, dead air. It's always fun. Uh,
So yeah, I mean, it's a great cover. I mean, I'm surprised it's come on because we're going to we haven't had Doom yet, have we? So
no, and Fantastic Four is coming soon, right? We know that it is.
that's a very high price for a restored 2.5.
Yeah.
This is
Um,
not. This is not. That is still. This is still way over the COVID.
oh yeah, like as I said, it was you can see that there was a COVID bump, but it's the trajectory on this book has been really crazy for the last few years.
Here's the restored.
So yeah, go to a 2.5 restored.
That's a high price.
Yeah.
Somebody's paid 1,000 more than.
Now this is slightly off the record high, but not much.
How much was it? It's over the record high.
What's the record
4.3.
high?
Oh, just over the record high. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So
Just under. No, there it is. That's the one. This last.
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking it's just under. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just a really good sale. It
But that's
shows that
because I think
the
we have
movie.
we haven't got we haven't had Doctor Doom in the MCU yet. So, but the likelihood he's going to come in the next 5 years or so. So I think Doctor Dooms are holding the value.
Yeah.
Well, this hasn't this in this grade. This hasn't seen a downturn virtually.
Well, you actually this is one thing I actually want to point out with these restored books, which is interesting. If you look at this one, it's slightly down from its highs, slightly. I mean,
I mean,
really
it's
slightly.
negligible. It's.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost sideways on it.
Yeah,
But if you look at the blue label,
yeah,
it's down significantly comparatively. It's like it's still strong, but it's
yeah.
not.
It's not down like some of the other ones we just looked at.
Yeah, but my point is the restored grades. Like everyone kind of panics about oh, purple label of death, but actually the restored values hold their value
Yeah.
much better.
Yeah, you'd have been better off
it's
buying.
it's
You'd have been better off buying restored than you would have been buying
that,
non-restored during the.
that's why I showed this one because I thought, hey, this is a really good example of why restored books are not as toxic as people think they are. See, I'm trying to build a case for half my collection. Um,
And it's only $2,000 lower than the unrestored. Which isn't.
yeah, in low grade, you would expect that actually because it's really here or there because even if you remove the restoration, would it really affect the grade? Probably not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nice. I like that one.
Okay, cool.
Oh, we've got another
Okay.
Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four.
This one I'm actually trying to buy my right now.
Great cover, by the way. I've got about two of these.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to get just so you know, I put a best offer in for somebody for this book for a 7.0
Yeah.
for 125.
Yeah.
So, and this one is a 6.0 for 125. So I'm hoping they'll accept my offer, but I doubt it.
Let's have a look at this. I think that I would have said that's a pretty decent price, actually.
It's a little down. This book had gotten some pretty big heights as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that kept on appearing on the Comic Tom hot list.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's a great cover.
it is a great cover. Um, but yeah, it was a little bit overheated.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit down. That's actually quite alert. That's
That's a pretty good sale. Yeah, a pretty
right down
affordable sale.
here, yeah.
But my point about if you look at the top, it's like 500-600 or something crazy.
409. Yeah.
Okay, 409. So yeah, so my point is it was way up. It's way off the peak, but again, it's that COVID bump that we got to kind of
I think
ignore.
125 is about right on the if you take out the COVID snap.
Yeah, you calling it
125 is
COVID snap.
about
I'm trying to get you to use the COVID bump, but I guess I'm not. It's not going to work. Um,
the
but
COVID, well, I call it the COVID snap because
okay,
it's like it's snap if it's gone.
so you're doing the Thanos version
I'm
of it.
doing the Thanos thing.
Yeah, I'm doing the I don't know, the COVID bump. I always thought it was cuter. Okay, so it's a bump on the curve. Okay, so but the point is, yeah, it's back on the trend lines, maybe a little bit above the trend line. I would say even still. It's hard to say. This is kind of a weird book that has like a bit of
if you take it here, 20,
yeah.
100,
If you take it there or you take it
and you
lower,
go to 125, I would say
then it looks right on the trend line.
that's on the
Yeah.
trend line. Yeah.
So what I'm trying to show with this is that things are not that bad. Don't
Well,
panic.
unless you're the person who paid $409 for it.
Well, yeah. Hopefully you didn't.
I didn't.
You did. I feel sorry for you. It'll get there. You just gotta wait another 10 years, or hope for another pandemic. One of the two.
I'm going to check to see what I paid for mine, Alan. I paid 150 for mine.
Oh, really? And it was a 6.0.
I don't know. I think it's probably ungraded.
Okay, so we're gonna find out.
6.5. I paid 150 and it's a 6.5. So I'm about right, aren't I? I'm not far off.
Yeah, you're not too far. You probably got right back to where what you paid for it.
Yeah, I'd probably get around that for it if I tried to say. Well, I'm not going.
Yes. So not too bad. So
No,
actually,
I didn't do too bad. And when did I buy it? I bought it.
Did you buy it during the peak?
Yeah, I bought it in March 2021. So that was not a bad price.
That's actually right in the peak area.
Yeah.
Like I think it was like May of 2021 or something like that was the peak.
Yeah. So actually, I did quite well there. I managed to avoid that spike, didn't I?
Yeah, you're lucky on that one.
6.5. Yeah. It says it's 200. Yeah. So I bought March 2021. Oh, yeah. I bought just here. Look.
Yeah, as I said, it's just before.
Yeah,
like May, June were kind of crazy months, and then
October was the peak. So I got in just before it went up.
Really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did well.
Yeah, I did all right. Well, I'm back where I started virtually.
Yeah. So I mean, the point is, like, I always see it as like a good thing if your worst, the worst one performing one is back to where you paid for it. You know what I mean? So where you break.
This is the advantage of being a long-term holder, isn't it?
I weigh out the bad things.
I've no idea what I've had it for 2 years and it's worth what I paid for it 2 years ago. Fine, but it's sat in my collection.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let my kids worry about selling it in how long that is. Right.
Yeah. Oh, one thing we should mention on like when we do these books, just two things. One, we should always mention the key significance. So this is really just a cover by. It's considered to be
it is a
famous Kirby cover. And what's the census count on this book? Just
Uh,
just quickly.
it's
I
not
always like telling people the census count. It's
so
a pretty common book. It's so
2000, so that's quite low actually.
yeah. Typically for Silver Age, you're looking at around 5,000
Yeah, so
is
that's
what I
quite low.
consider normal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's actually a pretty low census count. But yeah, so I don't know, kind of a cool book. What's next?
What is next? Oh, this is an odd one, Alan. What's this?
So this is my Odd Man Out book,
Okay.
and I picked it for that reason. So there's a couple things going for this book. This is the first Wolfman in comics. So it is a first appearance. It is a key. It's a file copy, a Dell file copy.
Mm.
So it's a bit of a pedigree. Um, and it is, I think, the highest grade or maybe the second highest grade
Well,
for this book.
9.6, it must be the highest grade, surely. Uh,
Yeah, and it is one that is sought after by horror collectors and by comic collectors in general. I have this book in my collection as
yeah,
well.
okay.
But I wanted to sort of use it as a way to demonstrate.
Oh, there were two printings of this. Is that the first?
Yeah, it's you can know that if you have a first printing by, it'll say under the Dell part where it says the price, it'll say August, October. Yeah, August will be the first printing, and then October will be the second printing.
Yeah, no, that's at 9.6. There isn't any 9.8.
So yeah, so this is the highest graded. Um, and you'll
Well,
see it's a nice strong sale.
yeah.
So the point is, like, anything that
Because the
wasn't in,
previous sale was and there's two recently, this in the last few days.
yeah,
The previous one before that was 12 years ago.
yeah. But what I like about this one is that line. You see
Yeah.
it, it's just like a nice steady line.
Yeah.
Um, and that's really what I'm trying to, the whole overall theme to this video is to show you that that is where we are with this market. The market isn't down per se. It's just really right back on that line.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make people stop crying because I think a lot of people are crying right now. They're nostalgic for 2021.
Well, yeah, if you're a flipper, you're probably in trouble. If you bought all this stuff at the top of the market, you will be crying.
Yeah, exactly.
If you bought it at the top of the market and you wanted to sell it, you didn't want to keep it, you're not a long-term investor, then a long-term player, then you will be crying. There will be a lot of people out there who were making money, moving these things around every 3 or 4 months, and
Hmm.
probably caught a cold on some of these because they will, as the market went down, they'd have probably held on to them thinking it might come back again, and it's gone
Yeah,
further and even further, and they've got into a bigger and bigger hole.
yeah. I mean, I do see that. Like, fortunate, I've been pretty fortunate. I'm always off the market. Like, I always buy at a different time than the rest of the market. I'm like sort of interested in things that other people are not quite interested in, and then the market catches up to me because I'm so cool. Um, so so I've been
You're,
pretty
you're a
fortunate that
trendsetter, Alan. You're ahead of the
I'm a
market.
trendsetter. So I was buying all my Silver Age grails in 2018,
Yeah,
and that was a good time to buy.
yeah,
Now and then during the whole COVID spike, I was buying Golden Age. So, and now Golden Age is getting into its own. So I was a bit ahead of the curve. So it's kind of lucky on that one.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, because I've been collecting for 40 years. So, if you're a long-term collector, you just think exactly as you're pointing out, over the long term, if it's a good quality comic, it'll go
You're,
up.
you're,
It's
yeah,
like
you're
housing. It's like housing. You buy a house, over the long term, it'll increase in value.
exactly. Yeah. So is that the fifth book on the list?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it is.
So, well, we're going to leave it on a cliffhanger, and we're going to go over to Mark's channel, and check out the top 5. The top 5 will stun you what they are. So you got to go over to Mark's channel and check those out. And yeah, thanks again, Mark. This is fun.
Yeah, enjoyed that. Thanks very much, Alan. Thanks for preparing for those.
Okay, bye.
Bye.